What's good, y'all? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles. You're listening to Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where you know I always keep it real. My man Kobe, we back at it. Y'all know what the deal is. It's a regular thing that's going to happen every Monday. Welcome back to the show.
I heard they said we was the best duo since Kobe and Shaq.
What?
I don't know. I'm just saying we getting pretty good at this thing, but you know,
Getting pretty good.
we got a whole lot to talk about.
Just getting started too. Now let's get right into it. A whole lot of NFL action. Going to talk about some couple other things outside NFL, but majority of this episode is going to be NFL. And the first topic we're going to talk about.
He's starting with it early, y'all.
Fly Eagles fly.
He's starting.
Jalen Hurts. Now I want to ask you this question. I know you're a Cowboys fan.
I said it last week. I'll say it again. Jalen Hurts is the MVP, bro. Jalen Hurts is the MVP.
All right, so he has overtaken Patrick Mahomes as MVP.
Patrick threw 3 picks, I think it was, yesterday. They was up 27-0 on a abysmal Denver Broncos team. I talked about them a little bit last week too, I think. But abysmal. Just absolutely abysmal Broncos team. They was up 27-0. Patrick Mahomes throws 3 picks. Wrap it up, y'all. Go ahead and hand Jalen Hurts the trophy.
It's over. And look, like, the fact that you have a guy in Jalen Hurts, 32 total touchdowns on the year, 3 interceptions on the entire year, only 5 turnovers, in total. He has the best quarterback rating in the NFL.
Yeah.
Leading his team to the best record in the NFL.
The only team to have clinched.
The only team to have clinched up to this point in this NFL season.
Yeah.
Is Jalen Hurts' award to lose at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that it's about damn time Jalen Hurts is getting his much needed respect. Because my whole thing was, can you give the guy a number 1 wide receiver? And what happened? Number 1 year.
Yeah.
Or first year with A.J. Brown.
Yeah. Balling.
A.J. Brown has already surpassed the 1,000th receiving yard mark already. We still got 4 more games to go. So he might end up getting 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't even have nothing left to say about the guy. I mean, he's playing great. I'm going to give it to you. He's playing great. He's getting better every year, too. I mean, he's getting better every year.
That's the thing. Like, he's not turning over the ball.
Yeah.
And then he can beat you both ways. He can. I wouldn't be surprised if one game he rushes for 3 TDs, or another game he passes for 3 TDs. So I just feel like in terms of like a dual threat quarterback, who could you say is better than him? Maybe Josh Allen.
Maybe Josh. Maybe Josh. I mean, look, I'm looking at the stats right now. I mean, last season he had 265 completions on 61% completion percentage. This year, through 13 games, he already has 264 completions on 68 completion percentage.
And that's on almost 40 less attempts.
Yeah.
Right? So last year he had 432 attempts with 265 completions. Now in 2022 he has 388 attempts and 264 completions. That's with the full 17 game.
And 2 less games he did that last year too. So like last year he only played in 15 games.
I only played 15, yeah.
He only played 15. He had 265 completions, 432 attempts. This year through 13 games, he has 264 completions through 388 attempts, 68% completion percentage. More yards already, 3,157 yards already. Last year he only had 3,144. I mean, he's averaging almost 1 yard more per attempt. I mean,
you can't. It's kind of like
6 more touchdowns already, 6 less interceptions. I mean,
you keep going. I mean, like, look. I mean, whether podcasts and debate shows, y'all want the people to go argue, go head for head. This is clear cut.
Yeah,
it's clear cut,
cut and dry.
Jalen Hurts
need to
is
spend
MVP.
too much time talking about it for real.
Like, for real. Like,
It's
Eagles'
over.
best record. He's the best player on their team. You see his stats matches up with every quarterback, whether it's Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Tua. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Jalen Hurts should be the MVP.
And it pains me to give this much credit.
It's a Cowboys fan right here.
It pains me to give this much credit to somebody.
You gotta be objective.
What can I say?
What can you say?
What can I say?
And so, we talked about the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, but I want to talk about the other NFC East team with the Cowboys. Now, yesterday they ended up, almost losing to the Houston Texans. Now, this is a fall from grace from a team that was blowing out, the Vikings. They blew out, what was it, the Colts?
Yeah, put up 55
points. Put up 50 on them.
Quarter last weekend.
And now y'all need a 98-yard, game-winning drive from Dak Prescott to beat the sorry Texans. So, first off, what's your thoughts on the Cowboys being a 17-point favorite? And if it wasn't for a 98-yard game-winning drive, would have lost.
All right, let me say this. Let me say that this falls on the offense, right? So I used to play ball back in my day a little bit. I used to be all right. On the field. Back in my day, I always learned the term, and you probably heard it before, defense wins championships, right? Granted, they only put up 23 points on us, so it's not like I feel bad about my defense. On top of the fact that you just mentioned the 98-yard game-winning drive to win the game, that all starts with the defensive stand on the goal line, right? So let me go ahead and take my defense out of this, because my defense for the Cowboys, we're playing still some damn solid defense. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Let me get to this offense though. Whatever you want to say about Dak Prescott, some games he looks like an elite talent, and in some games he doesn't look so much of an elite talent. And yesterday, 24 for 39, 284 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. I mean,
23 QBR.
Yeah, 23 QBR. Look. I feel like Dak Prescott often plays down to the talent of the other team, right? Like
facts. Like you see, it's times where when they face a real playoff team,
he balling,
he cooking.
Yeah, and then it's like
cooking.
And then it's like we play some trash team. I mean, and you know what I'm saying? I don't know. He act like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we get too comfortable and we get too caught up in the fact that we know how explosive we are. We know how good we are, and so sometimes we play down. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have too much to say about it. Now, this is what I will say. Dak has to clean this thing up. I mean, he has, since he came back from injury, he has the most interceptions since he's come back from injury. He's got to clean up the interception thing. But at the end of the day, our defense still stands strong. We only gave up 23 points. I'm looking at the stats. I mean, we haven't really given up that many points the whole year. I think it's crazy because the team who scored the most points on us was the Chicago Bears with 29 points, right? I mean, our defense is pretty solid, and I feel like if Dak can clean up the interception problems, we'll be okay. For the simple fact that our offense is explosive, very explosive. They can put up as many points as they want to as long as Dak keeps control of the ball. You know what I'm saying?
But against a good team, you're not going to put up no 54 points against the Colts. You're not going to, even like the Vikings,
right?
Like, no real playoff team going to let themselves get blown out by 35 plus.
Yeah, it was
like
40-3. That was just ridiculous. We took them off the TV.
So
but that's not even the point.
When you even talk about the turnovers, playoff situation. Close game, the turnover battle is going to dictate who wins the game most times. 9
times out of 10, it will. You're right. This is all I'm saying. And this is really my point. My point is, if Dak can clean up the interception problems, we'll be okay for the simple fact that if he cleans up the interception problems, our defense proven week in and week out.
Defense is cool.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Our defense is proven week in and week out that they gonna stand up. They gonna stand on their own on their 11, right? They 11. Yeah. They got arguably the best 11 players on the field at all times when it comes to defenses out of all 32 teams in the league. Now, what it comes down to is, can Dak clean up the interceptions? Because our defense is going to hold the team to – our defense will hold the team to under 25 points, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. So then it's like, can Dak clean up the interceptions so we can move the ball well enough so we can score enough points to beat the other teams? Because as an NFL team, as a good NFL team, as a playoff NFL team, you should be scoring more than 25 points a game, something like that. You know what I'm saying? You should be scoring more than 3 or 4 touchdowns a game. Therefore, as long as our defense can hold these teams, keep holding these teams to between 3 and less than that touchdowns per game, between 21 and less per game, our offense should be okay. As long as Dak can clean this thing up. Now, also, we gotta keep churning with the running game. We gotta keep churning with the running game because that's our bread and butter right there. If our running game is going good, if Zeke is doing his thing and Tony Pollard is doing his thing, that should help out with some of the problems with Dak. But I mean, man, Dak has got to clean up this interception thing. Other than that, there's not much to say.
And I mean, like, and if you got like a top 5 defense, probably top 3 with this Cowboys defense, the best defensive playmakers in the league, in Micah Parsons, like. You have a golden chance. You got Tony Pollard. You got Ezekiel Elliott. Mm-hmm. One of the best 1-2 running back combos in the league.
I'm gonna go as far as to say it is the best 1-2. It might be. I don't know.
That even proves the point even more. Like, this might be the most complete team you had since your rookie year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, if you can't get it done this year,
when are we gonna get it done?
With the NFC not looking good, the Bucks not looking good. Vikings.
It's really just y'all
beat them by like 30. Y'all beat them by 37.
Yeah.
The 49ers, their quarterback is a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, I mean, they out the playoffs. Like, all is a bunch of NFC East teams in the in the playoff picture right now. So if y'all can't get to the Super Bowl this year in this Dak Prescott era, promise it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's really y'all and us. It's really the Eagles and the Cowboys, and who gonna come out? Who gonna come out the NFC?
That's it. That's it right there.
That's it right there. So we'll see. We'll see, man. I don't know. Come December, December is gonna be interesting. December is definitely gonna be interesting.
My one thing with Dak, you alluded to this a little bit earlier, but it's like, why does he wait until the end of games to start playing well?
Yeah.
Like, what happened to the first quarter, the second quarter, third quarter?
Nah,
you wait until
let's play in the fourth quarter.
You wait until the fourth quarter when it's money time. Mm-hmm. Oh, then you want to start playing. Then you want to go on a 98-yard drive.
Last week against the Colts, he want to put up 55 points in the fourth quarter. I mean,
I just don't get it. Look, a full game. The best quarterbacks in the league, they play full games because if you have a bad first quarter, a bad first half, heck, just one bad third quarter, that can be the difference of you getting knocked out of the playoffs or you advancing, to the next rounds. So Dak, look back at this film and be like, it's some work that I gotta do to play a complete game because that's what my defense deserves.
Yeah.
So
they deserve that.
Dak, clean that stuff up. The Cowboys should still be they're like that second team to the Eagles in the NFC. Like, I mean,
we play the Jaguars.
I'll be honest. I got the 49ers over y'all.
You got the 49ers over us?
I got 49ers over y'all. They more disciplined. They more disciplined.
I can see why you would say that,
but they're definitely top 3 though.
I'm holding off on it. Only because I want to see how for real Brock Purdy is. Now we're gonna get into that because I want to talk about Brock Purdy. He played a hell of a game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But Debo injury limits him a little bit. But how for real is Brock Purdy? We're gonna see about that.
Yeah,
but that's more of the story. Cowboys Jaguars next week. I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Jaguars, they just beat the Titans.
They just beat the Titans.
They're not no scrubs, bro.
They not slouching this year. I think they're like 5-8 or something like that.
Trevor Lawrence hitting his stride, so it's like that's gonna be a telling game.
I'm a little nervous only because it's like they shouldn't beat us by no measure. Should they beat us at all?
But the Texans had a chance.
So it's like anything on any given Sunday. I said this a lot last week. On any given Sunday, bro. Any NFL team is subject to do something. On any given Sunday, the Cowboys are subject to lose a damn football game.
You mean? So we gonna see. Definitely gonna have some more. Have some more like Cowboy stuff in the future. I want y'all to get to the playoffs. So honestly, I want the Cowboys to face the Eagles
in the playoffs
in the NFC Championship.
That would be a beautiful thing.
That would be a beautiful thing.
And imagine us sitting here talking about that.
And imagine me going to Philly, Lincoln Financial Field, and seeing that.
Hell, I might make the trip. I might come see you. You got.
I wouldn't waste that bread though.
You got a spot for me?
I do. I don't think you want to just go there just to see a team lose.
Look,
Philly fans is crazy. They'll let you know about it too.
Hey, look, I'm crazy too. I'm gonna let y'all know about it
all right,
the whole time. As long as you got a spot for me, I'm coming. I'm on the way.
All right,
NFC Championship, we there.
Yeah, I want you to see history. I want you to see the Eagles get to Super Bowl.
Whatever, bro. Look, y'all, Cowboys hopefully will be okay. I think we'll be okay. We gonna see though. Jaguars next week. Jesus, Lord help us. Any given Sunday.
All right, so as we get into week 15 of the NFL season, coming down to the playoffs, coming right around the corner, right? In the AFC, obviously the Bills number 1 seed. Chiefs number 2.
I think the Bills gonna clinch next week, right?
Bills gonna clinch. Got the Ravens number 3, 3rd seed. That's kind of crazy given the fact all the injuries and all that this season. Titans number 4 seed. Bengals 5th seed, Dolphins 6th seed, Chargers 7th seed. Yeah. Then we got 2 teams that is a lot of teams are in the hunt, but I think the 2 teams that are actually that could actually make something happen are the Patriots and the Jaguars.
Yeah,
I don't have faith in the Raiders, but I want to know on the AFC side. Then we gonna go to the NFC. Is there a team, maybe you believe in the Raiders, but is there a team that's not in the playoffs right now that you feel like could take that wild card spot? Or do you feel like, a team like the Titans, I know you said that you aren't too confident on them, could they be a team that, gets overtaken by the Jaguars or, somebody like that? But I guess, who do you see coming out into the playoffs in the AFC? Then we don't go to the NFC after that.
So I think the AFC is pretty locked up. I don't believe in the Titans at all. I think they're a first round exit come playoff time. You heard it here first. The Titans are a first round exit come playoff time. Them boys are bad. They're not bad. They're just not good either. But I think the AFC is pretty locked up, and the only reason the Titans are going to make the playoffs is because they'll be number 1 in their conference or in their division. In the AFC South. The next team behind them is the Jaguars at 5-8, who are second in the AFC South. So the Titans are a product of a bad division. So they'll make the playoffs, right? I don't believe in them once they get to the playoffs, but they'll make it. After that, I think the AFC is pretty locked up, bro. I don't see after the Chargers game last night. After the Chargers and Dolphins game last night, both teams will move on to be 8-6. Miami lost, so they'll be 8-6. Chargers won, they'll be 8-6.
Hey, look, I think the Jaguars can overtake the Titans and win the AFC South. Now, look, the Titans are at 7-6.
Well, so they'll be these are what we're looking at is old actually. So they'll be 7-7, I think. Right? They'll be 7-7.
Right now?
Yeah. So week 14 just ended, so they'll be 7-7.
No, they'll be 7-6.
Am I tripping? 7-6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So they'll be 7-6.
Be 7-6 because they lost when they lost to the Eagles, that made them 7-5.
Okay. So they'll be 7-6. Possibly the Jaguars could do it, but because 5-8. Who do the Titans have?
So look, last 4 games for the Titans, right? You got the Chargers, you got the Texans, you got the Cowboys, got the Jaguars. Texans, all right, they gonna beat. Actually, I don't even know because the Texans, they literally just played the Cowboys up to the very end.
Yeah, in a good game.
And especially when you got a divisional opponent that really knows how you run, what you do well, what you don't do well.
It's hard to beat a team twice.
That's not. I'm saying it's not something where it's like, oh, that's a gimme.
You're right.
It's not a gimme, bro.
You're right.
So you got 4 games here. It's the Chargers, Cowboys. Obviously,
I think the Chargers is a loss next week. The Chargers is a loss next week for the Titans.
Mm-hmm. So then they'll be at 7-7, and then the Jaguars on the other hand,
and they got the Cowboys. Bro, they might lose 3 of these next 4.
They might lose next 3 of these 4. And then look at who the Jaguars have. They got the Cowboys as well. They got the Jets, the Texans, and the Titans. So they got an easier schedule, not by a lot, but I would rather play. See, they're playing the Chargers. The Titans are.
Yeah.
When the Jaguars are playing the Jets, basically out of those 4 games, because 3 of them are the same.
Yeah. Well, so it'll be interesting. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that there. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that right there. But other than that, Cincinnati, Miami, and Los Angeles, I think that's pretty locked up. No.
You said who? Cincinnati? Yeah, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's a lot.
That's a lot. They might end up, depending on how Tyler Huntley recovers.
Yeah.
They can end up.
It's gonna be a race
overtaking them. For that AFC North title.
Yeah. It's gonna be a race for that one. But Miami and the Chargers, so we might have some movement within the standings of the playoffs, within the top 7. But other than that, I think it's pretty much a lock unless the Titans unless the Jaguars overtake the Titans. Unless the Jaguars overtake the Titans, we'll see. But other than that, we might see some movement within the top 7, but nothing really.
Yeah, and I think even the Jets, they got a pretty hard schedule against the Lions. They not no slouches. They just beat the Vikings. Talk about the Jaguars. Obviously, they're not going to be no easy team to beat. They got Seahawks and Miami. They'd be lucky to go 2-2 in that stretch.
I was Mike White, love him to death. I love the passionate fire that boy was playing with. He got carried off in an ambulance yesterday. Yeah. After the game, be evaluated for internal injuries. Mike White is a dog. Shout out Mike White. No, he's a dog. He's a dog. He got carried out of the stadium in an ambulance yesterday.
Hey, Zach Wilson, it's your time. Man, opportunity presents itself.
Are they going to play him? I don't think they're going to play him.
Y'all think they'll play him?
Uh-uh. He's been inactive.
So who?
Whoever they had playing behind Mike White,
depth chart.
Whoever they had playing.
Because they.
Hey, look!
They got Zach by Joe Flacco. Hey, yo.
Look, and don't count that man out. That man got playoff pedigree.
Joe Flacco.
He got playoff pedigree. I'm not saying he's gonna do anything too extravagant, but
he is old as dirt.
He got playoff pedigree.
Old as dirt.
He got playoff pedigree.
He dang near got as many interceptions as he has touchdowns.
Look,
Zach Wilson, he ain't too far off the tree, but he has no. Zach has more interceptions than touchdowns. Let me stop. So okay, maybe Joe Flacco is a better. Maybe Joe Flacco is a better option there.
Look. Joe Flacco has playoff pedigree. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, look, Joe Flacco, if he's gonna be the quarterback of these next 4 games, he's about to play some young teams. He's about to play the Lions. He's about to play Jared Goff and the Lions.
Yeah.
He's about to play.
This is Flacco?
Yeah. Flacco from the Jets. He's about to play Jared Goff and the Lions, Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, Geno Smith and the Seahawks, Tua and the Dolphins. I'm not saying anything extravagant is going to happen. But if it did, I wouldn't be surprised because in this stretch of the season, an older quarterback, been around for a while, knows how to win,
Yeah.
Knows how to win. You know what I'm saying? Like
I can see that. I can see that because I looked at Zach Wilson's stats and
you know what I'm saying? And
he ain't ready for prime time.
These are some young teams that they about to come up against.
And so you think with the Jets playing these younger teams, you got a veteran quarterback now that's been there, done that.
You might can make something shake. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I'm not even saying it will happen.
Well, here's what I'll say. I think if you win a game, because let's say the Jets, they play the Lions, right? You win a clutch situation. One score game, 2 minutes left. Like
Joe Flacco knows how to get it done.
Joe Flacco knows how to get it done more so than a guy in Jared Goff.
That's my point.
Even in terms of Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars. Yeah, they're a good team. But Trevor Lawrence...
Is the moment too big? The moment might be too big for Trevor.
I don't know, but he has been playing very well, though.
He has. He has.
Credit 3 tutties.
No.
The Titans.
And I respect all of these teams. All of these teams that they about to play are pretty okay teams. You know, the Lions, no slouch. They just beat the Vikings. Jaguars, no slouch. Just beat the Titans. Seahawks, no slouch either. Geno Smith and company, they've been doing their thing. Tua and the Dolphins, no slouch either. They're a pretty good team. First of all, wait, can we gonna talk about that? Because you tried to tell me that the Dolphins was better than my Cowboys, and I just don't know about that. I just don't know about that. But moral of the story, all I'm saying is if Mike White is out and Joe Flacco is in against these younger teams, I'm not saying it will happen. All I'm saying is it can happen. Joe Flacco can make some things shake. Veteran quarterback down the stretch. It'll probably be a lot of close games. I don't see too many blowouts in the future for these 4 games. Maybe the Dolphins have a great game and they blow them out. But I mean, look, Lions, Jaguars, Seahawks with Joe Flacco in there.
And that game against the Dolphins, last game of the season, that's going to be like the difference between whether or not the Dolphins make the playoffs. I bet you that's going to be a deciding game. That's not going to be a game where it's like, last game of the season.
We putting everybody out. Everybody out, yeah.
No, that game's going to matter.
That game's
going to matter. So, and the Dolphins, to get Tyreek Hill, and then to have, a pretty good season, surpass some expectations, but y'all still is a wild card team. Mediocre. And there is a distant chance. It's a distant chance, not a very good chance, but a distant chance that y'all don't make the playoffs.
Look,
so that could be something crazy. I don't expect that. But I definitely think like the Bengals, they're like locked up. It's all about the Dolphins and the Chargers. And the Chargers do a lot of bonehead stuff. They had a great game yesterday against the Dolphins. Defense was on it and all that.
Without Durham.
Without Durham. So
without one of the top safeties in the league.
Definitely promising. But the Chargers, they always do like their Chargers stuff in the season.
We'll see how that works out.
So
you remember how they did against the Raiders last year.
We'll see how that works out. But I'm gonna have a bold prediction. Y'all ready? You mean?
Roll call. Come on.
I got the Jaguars sneaking in the playoffs over the Chargers. I think Trevor Lawrence will make his first playoff berth over Justin Herbert. I think that will happen. Again, talk about who the Chargers are playing in these 4 games.
Look.
Matter of fact, no.
Look. I got you. They'll both make it.
If
it happens, no. If it happens, they'll both make the playoffs. They won't make it over the Chargers. The reason that the Jags will make the playoffs is because the mediocre Titans won't get it done. That's why.
That's why. So then you can have.
They'll overtake them as the 1 seed in the AFC South.
Yeah.
The Titans will become the 2 seed. They're not going to have a better record than the Chargers. Both the Chargers and the Jaguars will make the playoffs because the Jaguars have overtaken the Titans. If it happens, that's the better. That's the better prediction.
That's probably a better chance. I'll give you that. And so shout out my man Brett James, one of the biggest Jacksonville Jaguars fans. Definitely gotta have you on the show, my man. But I got your team. My man corrected me. I definitely think that y'all got a better chance of overtaking the Titans that back-to-back losses. Lost to the Eagles, lost to the Jaguars. You know, ain't been looking
morale
so good.
might be down.
That defense is looking very, very rough right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Jaguars will end up clinching that AFC South chip, and I'll still have the Bengals, the Dolphins, and the Chargers, you know, with those wild card spots. Mm-hmm. But the Titans, watch, they gonna fold. And now look,
them boys flew out there. Them boys was flew. I have no faith in them boys. I have no faith in them boys.
I don't.
It's theirs to lose, but I have no faith in them.
And you talk about that like trade, one of the worst trades for them. Trade away AJ Brown.
Horrible.
Like, what are y'all trying to do? My thing is, right, if you trading away, why are you trading away AJ Brown if you're the Titans and you have a top 3, top 5 coach in the league in Mike Vrabel? Like, I just don't see, like, if you're trying
you
to
got the king of the backfields back there.
Yes.
The king of the backfields. You got an okay quarterback in Tannehill who has proved that with a good run game, he can make some things happen, and you trade away your number one.
If I'm Derrick Henry, I'm pissed off because y'all wasting my valuable years. Running backs don't even have that long of a career. You know what I'm saying? So when they're on, you got to maximize that opportunity.
Yes.
And you trading away.
You'll never get another Derrick Henry.
Ryan Tannehill's number one target. And this obviously is exposing Tannehill to be just another guy in terms of a quarterback. It also elevates A.J. Brown to say, you know what, this is a team that without A.J. Brown, would they have been in the hunt for the playoffs or been in the playoffs all these years? You know, so this definitely elevates A.J. Brown and what he's been able to do in Tennessee. But, you know, I just don't get the move to trade for A.J. Brown if you're not tanking. If you're tanking, all right, fine. If you shipping off everybody, fine. But what's the point of trading away A.J. Brown and you're keeping Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry's at 2,000 yards right now. No, I'm lying. He's at 1,199.
But he's at 1,199. But he's over
first
1,000.
In the league in attempts. First in the league in attempts. Second in the league in yards. I mean,
there's another
tied in the league, tied for third in the league with touchdowns. I mean, you got the king of backfields back there. The king of backfields. An okay quarterback who was proven to be okay when the running game is going well. When he has a good threat on the outside. And you give away the threat. And you're wasting prime years of Derrick Henry.
Prime years. I want to get into the NFC. Because
okay, let's get back on track.
We talked about how in the AFC, the Jaguars look to make a push. That's my prediction. But in the NFC side, obviously the Eagles locked the playoff spot. Yeah, the number 1 seed right now. The Vikings number 2, 49ers number 3, the Bucks at 6 and 7 or number 4. Speaks to how bad the NFC South has been. The Cowboys at that 5th spot. Then we got the Commanders and the Giants. So shout out to the NFC East. It used to be called the NFC Least.
At the beginning of the season, they called us the NFC Least.
And now every team in that division is in the playoffs. Now, let
me make my prediction.
Make your prediction on who you think is going to get that spot.
I
know you was high on Detroit.
I'm telling you, it's not going to stand. And only because this Detroit team is a baller. I don't know for sure, for a fact, or for certain that it won't stand. But one of these teams in the NFC East is going to fold. One of them. And I'm talking about one of these teams in the bottom half. In the bottom half.
All four teams is not making it to the playoffs. I'm sorry. This is not happening.
It's not happening.
Somebody's going to fold.
Washington or New York is going to fold. I don't know which one is going to be yet. If I had to take my pick, I'm not even going to take a pick, actually. I'm not even going to take a pick. I can't because I want to say it's going to be Washington.
Well, shoot, I'll take one for you. Look, Carson Wentz. Hear me out. He just
is he returning?
Got listed off the IR.
Oh.
So Commanders fans,
the Commanders are folding, y'all.
I'm letting y'all know, if Carson Wentz comes back, y'all are not making the playoffs. Y'all's only chance on making the playoffs is if Taylor Heineke is y'all's quarterback.
Yeah.
So if I'm Ron Rivera, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We got here with Taylor Heineke. We gonna keep it with Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
I don't see. So again,
Carson Wentz coming off IR is the worst thing that could happen. That could have happened to y'all season. I'm sorry. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not wishing injury on nobody's season. I'm not wishing injury.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying nothing like that. I'm just saying if he'd have remained on IR for whatever reason, because
it wouldn't have no controversy on who's going to be the.
It wouldn't have no controversy. Now we about to shake up the locker room a little bit. We done paid Carson Wentz this money. Maybe we should play him. Look, keep Taylor Heineke. Ron Rivera, if you're watching, if you see this, by God, if you see this, listen to me, please. Keep Taylor Heineke in the game.
I don't know what Carson Wentz does in the QB rooms to help out his backup quarterbacks, but whether it's Nick Foles, whether it's Jalen Hurts, whether it's Taylor Heineke,
I don't know what he's doing in there.
I don't know what you're doing in there.
But whatever your advice is helping.
It's helping.
Take your own advice. Take your own advice.
Because look, I mean, he might be the best mentor for backup quarterbacks in this league. I'm just be honest. Every backup coach. Every backup, right?
He gonna be a good coach when he retires.
He could be a coach, a quarterback coach, whatever you want to call it. But every backup quarterback that has been behind Carson Wentz has literally looked like Tom freaking Brady. Like, maybe not Tom Brady, but they damn sure look like a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, balling. They be balling. So look, Commanders fans, all my beloved Commanders fans, I hate y'all with a passion. I hate y'all. Y'all are horrible people. Horrible people.
Hey, Commanders fans, talk y'all ish in the comments right now. Talk y'all ish in the comments.
Drop a comment below, like, comment, subscribe, all that.
But
Commanders fans, y'all are horrible people. I'll be up in FedEx soon, watching a game or something, hopefully. But so if Carson Wentz come back in, y'all are done for. Done for, and the Giants.
So the Giants going. So all right. So look. So we see what like the teams that Giants is playing. You know,
Commanders,
Vikings. Commanders. That's going to be a very telling tale right there.
Yeah.
Now again, please don't tie again.
Please, I'm begging you not to tie.
Please,
I'm begging you, because we can shake some things up in here if y'all don't tie.
And like you talk about like who the Seahawks is playing. They do have a very tough schedule.
They do.
That's the reason why I don't have them make it to the playoffs, because you got the 49ers, the Chiefs.
They always play the 49ers pretty good though. That's a divisional game.
I'll give you that. So out of those,
they always play them like.
But you also have the Jets, and here's the thing though, right? They play the Rams last game of the season. The Rams, they're not making the playoffs. But
they're not.
They're gonna have that motivation to be like, all right,
Baker Mayfield is playing with a chip on his shoulder.
Chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And the thing is, right? They're gonna be like, you know what? We won't make the playoffs,
but we gonna ruin somebody else's.
But we gonna ruin y'all's chances of making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So watch out, Seahawks fans. Even if y'all end up upsetting the 49ers next week, or even if y'all somehow beat the Chiefs in 2 weeks. That game against the Rams, last game of the season,
y'all need it.
And the Rams are not going to be sitting players up. They're not. Baker Mayfield is going to be out there
balling, playing for his life. He's literally. Look, y'all don't understand. Maybe y'all do understand. Baker Mayfield is playing for his life right now. Literally playing for his life. The market on Baker Mayfield is not big.
He has the opportunity, literally, to potentially get a starting quarterback job, or forever be a backup.
His market is not big right now. Therefore, he's playing for.
He's gonna be playing
life.
hard.
I'm talking about
playing hard.
Did you see him last Thursday? Playing for his life. Game-winning drives,
Mm-hmm.
throwing over the defense.
Yep.
I'm talking about he went crazy. Went crazy.
Talk about to go
and did that in what? In
2 days.
2 days?
2 days.
Hopped off the plane, went to the practice facility, started learning the playbook, and just went out there and was just balling.
And how do you feel like that makes his teammates feel? That
It give him hope.
What?
That's hope right there. That's hope. That's hope. Not for to make the playoffs or anything like that, but just for talking points, just for okay, I'm not a bad player because we looking at these Rams like y'all are flu. Y'all won the Super Bowl last year, then a couple of injuries and all this good stuff, whatever y'all want to talk about, and y'all are just the last team in the league, the last team in the you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in the NFC, it's bad. It's looking
bad.
real flu for y'all.
It's so
therefore, when Baker playing the rest of this season, he playing for his life because he want to get signed somewhere next year. And these other boys, they trying to look good on camera too.
Yeah.
They trying to look good on camera too. So don't count them out. Don't count them out to do anything. Don't count them out to ruin anybody's day. They got a chance.
So you would say that your pick, because you already said that it's going to be one NFC East team that
does
not make the playoffs. Because currently all four in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
And so either the Commanders or the Giants, one of them will be out. Mm-hmm. And you think the Lions. So who do you think? So who do you think? So who's replacing them?
All right. So look, it's easier for the Seahawks to do it. It's easier for the Seahawks to do it if they win next week. But against the 49ers, we're gonna see. It's a little shaky for the Seahawks right now. I'm gonna say that.
Very shaky.
It's a little shaky for the Seahawks. And look, them boys out Detroit playing with some passion. I like their coach too. What's the coach name again?
Coach Campbell.
Coach Campbell?
Hey, I mean, he'll bite you in your kneecaps.
Bite you in your neck, your nose off, your ear off. Shout out Mike Tyson. I mean, that he's a dog. He's a dog, and he got a team full of dogs. My boy Jamo came back. Came back.
Yeah.
Scored his first touchdown in his second game back. Jamo. Shout out Big SG. Shout out Mr. Williams. You came back. You did your thing. You got you a little touchdown. If he can find a way to get in a groove, you know what I'm saying, to insert himself into this already high-powered offense.
And they've been playing beautiful football lately.
Like
their last two losses.
Beautiful football.
Has been to the Dolphins, 31-27.
Okay.
And to the Bills, 28-25.
On Thanksgiving, right?
And now the rest of their four remaining games are against the Jets, the Panthers, the Bears, and the Packers.
Look, bro.
They could legitimately go 4-0. The way they've been playing.
Let me tell you something. If they go 10-7, if they go 10-7, and they're in the NFC North, who's at the top of that?
They can go 9-8. Honestly,
okay.
They can go 9-8.
They can go 9-8 and still make it. Honestly,
because with that Giant, bro, that's gonna end up paying. They're gonna end up paying for that. Mm-hmm. The Giants, Commanders.
They're gonna end up paying for that tie. Look, I'm telling y'all. Look, the Seahawks and the Lions. Y'all better be on the lookout. My team is good. Your team is good.
Yeah,
but them other two teams in the NFC East,
it's not good.
It's not looking too good for y'all. Y'all better figure something out. Okay. And y'all better start winning games real soon. Keep tying if you want to. Lose if you want to. See what happens.
Tie if you want to.
Tie if you want to.
Yeah,
tie if you want to.
So here's what I say. So the Commanders and the Giants are playing next week. The winner of that goes to the playoffs. The loser of that misses the playoffs.
Be sitting at home.
That's what's going to happen.
And I'm telling you, even the winner of that could be looking sick for the weeks coming after that.
Exactly.
Because I like this Lions team.
I like them too. Now
they're
gonna get into the playoffs.
They're the Detroit Lions, so it's a possibility they just
crash out.
They crash out and burn. But if they don't crash out and burn, both teams in the NFC East need to be watching their back, because at 6-7, 7-5, 7-5-1, you know, that tie hurts them only. It only hurts them.
Only
and they in the
hurts them.
same division.
Same division. Like,
Same
they all hurt
division.
each other.
So I mean, you know, the Seahawks and the Lions, I'm looking for them boys to do something. I'm looking for them to do something. Shout out Geno and crew. Shout out Jared Goff. I never thought I would ever say the word shout out Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's the thing, too. If the Lions...
He got some playoff pedigree, too.
Yeah.
Jared
Goff does. And, you know, with him, if he's able to get this Lions team to the playoffs, he'll solidify himself as the starting quarterback for at least probably like a year.
2 or 3 more.
I'll
give him 2. I'll give him 2.
2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to Jared Goff as well to come to Detroit and make the most, you know.
Let me ask, has Geno Smith locked up the starting quarterback position for next year?
Oh, he damn sure should.
Okay.
Unless they end up getting some generational talent.
Mm-hmm. In the draft or something like that?
Like, Geno,
shout out to you. Shout out to you, Geno.
The fact that who would have thought that the Seahawks would have a better
be in this
record
position
than the Broncos. Now, that's also credit to, like, their tremendous drafting, tremendous draft class. But Geno Smith...
Shout out Pete Carroll, too.
Yep.
Pete Carroll, you out there doing your thing. You've been real silent all year, Pete Carroll. You've been real silent all year. You ain't made too many waves. You ain't said too much. But I know what you're thinking. I'm not going to tell the world what you're thinking, but I know what you're thinking.
But here's the bad part, though. Here's the part with Jalen Smith, which is probably... It's harsh in the NFL. Because if they don't make the playoffs, I don't think that he'll be back. I don't think he'll be back. Okay. They might try to look to, you know, let's look for like some, like, you know, our future in terms of
you're right.
You know,
let's start building something.
But if they're able to get to the playoffs,
yeah,
especially given who they got playing these last 4 games, and Geno Smith can propel this team to the playoffs, he will have locked himself a spot. Now, don't get it wrong. If he doesn't get the starting job in Seattle, he'll get it somewhere else. Okay, I believe that too. Okay, but yeah, like
they might start looking at Drew Lock or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like even like we got even like the Commanders, like the the Giants. Yeah, we can go on and on. Like so, Geno Smith. To lock up his position as the Seahawks quarterback, he's gonna have to, you know, secure a playoff berth for them this year. But again, don't mistaken that to be like, oh, well, you know, if he doesn't get a starting job with Seattle, he won't ever get one. I still think that there's a possibility that there's gonna be a lot of quarterbacks that are getting shipped off, moved around. Heck, Carolina can use Jalen Smith. Like it's a number of teams that they're just a competent quarterback away from being a playoff team. Yeah, and Jalen Smith can give many teams in the league that chance to be a playoff team. But in the NFC, our pick is the Lions to end up making that wild card spot. Either one of the NFC teams, whether it's the Commanders or the Giants, gonna get out. In the AFC, I think that the Jaguars were able to overtake the Titans to secure the AFC South, but I still think that the Bengals, the Dolphins, and the Chargers, as long as they play up to what we know they can play up to, they'll be in that wild card spot, and that would be, man, the AFC is stacked. The AFC is stacked, but I'm excited to see just how these games end up playing out. Right. All right, so the Ravens, they was able to actually inch out a win against the Steelers. Yeah, this was actually with Tyler Huntley going down in the third quarter. Yeah. Now, so my question is, Lamar Jackson, your backup quarterback is injured. Y'all are still in the lead in the AFC North. Right. Barely. But should Lamar Jackson shut it down for the regular season, or should he come back? You know what? So I said this earlier. I said he should shut it down for the regular season. But I'm going to switch my take, bro. I'm going to switch my take. And I know this goes against everything I said last week. I'm saying. But I'm going to switch my take. I think he should come back, bro. I'm not going to lie to you.
Cause, yeah, like
Why?
Tyler Huntley. If Tyler Huntley is hurt to the point that he can't play, it makes no sense to miss the playoffs. What are we like? I don't know who Anthony Brown is. I don't know who this Anthony Brown character is. Hopefully he's okay. I mean, he's a rookie, undrafted, out of Oregon. I mean, hopefully he's okay. But like, it makes no sense to me to miss the playoffs. Like, you're not proving anything by missing the playoffs, if that makes sense. If because they're barely holding on in the North. They're barely holding on. Who is
So you feel like they need, like Lamar needs to come,
yeah.
in order for Diana.
I mean, the Bengals will take over as second and well, I guess they wouldn't miss the playoffs. I mean, nobody's gonna what, if they lose out they'll be 9-8.
No, if they lose out,
They'll be
they'll be done. They'll be done.
They'll be done.
Definitely be done.
I don't know. I just don't
not for sure, but like
yeah. I'm just saying, like, to me, it makes no sense to miss the playoffs. Like, you're not like, if I'm Lamar Jackson, you're not proving anything by missing the playoffs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so he's not proving nothing by like just shutting it down.
yeah, like he was proving something by shutting it down. If Tyler Huntley was playing, if they had their second string quarterback in, and they missed the playoffs, then he had some talking points. That was my point last week. Was like, if Tyler Huntley is playing and they went out, you know what I'm saying, then Baltimore can come to the table like, look, bro, Tyler Huntley just won out with this team. You're not saying too much by making the playoffs. But missing the playoffs, that's a whole different story. Mm-hmm. Missing the playoffs without Tyler Huntley, like, what are you proving there? You put in an undrafted rookie, we lose out, and you're hurt. Like, you're not proving nothing. You know what I'm saying?
See, my thing is, I feel like the Tyler Huntley injury just gave Lamar Jackson more of a reason to sit out. And I'm not talking just sit out of the regular season.
The whole season?
I'm talking about sit out for the entire season. Because, look, let's say the Ravens end up making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Let's say they clinch home field advantage. You know, they get a divisional round game in their backyard in Baltimore. Let's say second quarter happens. Lamar Jackson
gets hurt again.
Runs left. His knee pops. He's not getting that $250 million. So my thing is, why would you even risk yourself when it was just when you've been injured and been knick-knack injuries all year? The backup quarterback in his first game as a starter, he gets hurt. So if I'm Lamar, I'm like, bro, I'm not playing one snap for you. I was already crazy for me to
come out here
with no contract. Mm-hmm. Never mind getting banged up, and my backup quarterback got injured too. Yeah. So yes, Lamar, he runs out the pocket a lot, and he's going to be more susceptible to getting hit. Mm-hmm. But the Ravens offensive line must do a better job of protecting not only Lamar Jackson, but Tyler Huntley too. Because you on your third string quarterback right now. I mean, never know. Maybe Anthony Brown, maybe he could do something. But Lamar Jackson, the proof is in the pudding. If I'm you work too hard up to this point to go ahead and risk everything you worked for. Mm-hmm. This is tough. This is generational wealth, just to try and salvage your season. I will say this Ravens team, if Lamar was healthy for like the entire year, this is like a Super Bowl roster, I believe. Like a Super Bowl. I believe it's Super Bowl contender. But nonetheless, I'm not risking all the years that I put in to help y'all get a Super Bowl when it's not even guaranteed. Yeah. That doesn't make so much sense to me. So Lamar Jackson, sit out the entire season, man. Like, I mean, just sit out and secure that bag, because best to believe, if you get injured and it is a significant injury, they're gonna have the leverage.
Yeah.
And they're gonna lower that contract money. They were talking about $200 million. They're not gonna offer you $200 million if you